Hello, and this is Spotlights, recorded live here on GRAPPL Patreon. I'm Benno.
And I'm Matty.
How are you, Matthew? How's it going, mate? Didn't play any music for you to troll you there. I was just backstage humming a certain theme.
You was?
You're lucky. The YouTube copyright gods got us on Sunday on the pre-show with me trying to play Danhausen's WWE debut to you, and I pretty much had to chop it completely out of both the audio and the video to make things work. So I'm trying not to take any risks, mate, but you never know. Maybe I'll find like a piano version of a certain theme for the audio listeners or something like that. Somebody has to have made one, surely.
It's been a dreadful 72 hours, Ben, on this Patreon.
That's the start for the people who aren't patrons, because you can get the pre-show for free. It's free every week.
Yes.
It's up on the Patreon. You just have to become a free member of the Patreon, or spend 99p and become a YouTube member. You know, one or the other. It works. But yeah, Matty was not in a good mood on Sunday. Hungover. I hadn't even seen the WWE pay-per-view we were going to talk about today, but was getting. I think we had standing room only in the chat. People were there just to hear your Danhausen takes, and then yes, we did force you to watch a certain segment live during the show as well, mate. It felt like cruel and unusual punishment, mate. But hopefully you're in a better place now.
Of course, anything for you guys and the patrons, of course, Ben. Anything at all, and yeah, I'm slightly in a better place. It's sank in. We'll go into it later on, obviously, about Danhausen. It's sunk or sank in, whatever the word is.
Oh, you like him already now? It's been 2 days.
No,
he's a bad guy now.
I've got takes on the segment he was in on Raw, so we'll go into that a bit when we talk about them. Unfortunately, because we've got to, but otherwise, I'm in decent spirits today, mate. Otherwise than that.
Good to have you that way on up. I suppose as we're going to jump right into the pay-per-view as we almost started there. We'll just throw in the quick plugs. Obviously, the pre-show was the pre-show to Argaz's pub quiz, which is what we did on Sunday for the patrons and YouTube members. It's become a staple now. Third quiz we've done. Second one, Andy Ogden has fucking won. But he's going to be on a weekend show this week, so that's his little celebration that they can have and hold over us. But another cracking time. Some great rounds cooked up by our Gareth. Bit of family fortunes in there, and guess the VHS cover. That was another fun game there for the visual people. Again, available to all patrons, paid patrons over on the Patreon and the YouTube. I would highly recommend see the visual version. We had the boss time, mate. Once we got you out of your depression hole.
Yeah, that VHS round was incredible. So was the theme lyric round as well. I enjoyed that.
Yes, I was terrible at that.
Yeah.
We realised that it's not just the X-Pac theme, which says make some noise on our X-Pac, like that I spent my entire life not knowing. It's just, I see the line in the sand, blah, 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 blah. My brain just turns off in wrestling theme songs. They're all instrumentals. I remember there were lyrics in Mick Foley's Mankind theme. They definitely weren't. That was my undoing, mate. That's why I came joint second with you, and you can't change history.
I won't give spoilers. Yeah, I won't give spoilers on that. But the actual only one you jumped in straight away was the Wolfpack theme, Benno. You got that one. You had to get.
How many times I played that one? What was the word? That it was something like No Mercy and something commission. I remember that. They had 2 bits, but none of us really knew what they were actually saying, did we? It was like Steph reminded me the other day. What was it? Oh, the DX theme. She was singing it when I was in Belfast, and I was like, "They're not the words. What are you on about?" And I literally pulled the page up, and I was like, "I did not know it said that. I didn't know it said that." It's like Jim Johnston's put all this lovely lyricism together, and all I heard was break it down and then an instrumental, and that's it. What a waste of time for him.
I'd say it all begins and ends with make some noise, though, doesn't it, Ben? Like that. Yeah. Even if people are sick and tired of it, and I'll never get sick and tired of saying it, because there'll be someone out there listening here that doesn't know that, and it'll always blow their mind. That's the greatest thing of all time. Brilliant.
The DX one's the same. There's a line in there, you'll hit the brakes, little man, I think I always heard that right, but there's some weird stuff in there. It's like the Triple H theme, It's Time, but it's got shouts, it's like the corporate suits McMahon. That's literally the only line I know at the end of it. The rest of it's just, it's my time, over and over again. I don't know what it says about us as wrestling fans, but some great ones back then. And got it there. Turned it into a fun game. And like I say, I did joint bottom when it came to that round, but hopefully did myself proud on the other stuff.
Yeah, it was good to see, the patrons and some people who have listened to it since giving their scores, and that's some good scores posted. Definitely better than us, Benno. So always good to see the interactiveness with these such quizzes. But yeah, they're always a good time. They're always a good event. And long may they continue, Ben. And as I say, as long as I don't lose to you, Ben, then we're all good, aren't we? As long as we can draw it every week and we handshake, but we take that. Both of us.
Did we both win or did we both lose? I don't know when that happens. I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's somewhere, mate. But it's always a cracking time, as I say. Looking forward to the next one coming up whenever.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, as it is the first spotlight of a new month, we do need to talk about what we got coming up this month. Obviously, we're kicking off the month with Razor, which is the show that was your brainchild. We've got the playlist here we can have a little look at. There's going to be a March mixtape coming up this month. Simon's King of the Mountain show also at an Ask GRAPPL to close out the month. And yeah, obviously the best place to start is at a one name show in Razor. And yeah, you've done the Lord's way of putting this one together as well.
Yeah,
both lost. Andy says in the chat. You can wait till weekend show to give us grief.
No, but Razor wasn't actually one, was it, Ben, on the docket? It was one of them that the listeners themselves like kind of gathered around. They were like, and I think Gareth might have mentioned, or yourself, I'm not sure who actually put that brainchild, and then it went down well with the listeners. So of course we listen. We put that list together, and it's just, as I say, it's not Scott Hall. It is just Razor Ramon, the character in the WWF, and you've got everything covered from his debut vignettes there to him helping Macho Man. Him helping Ric Flair beat Macho Man to win the WWF title, the Survivor Series tag match, going through obviously the kid stuff, what everyone's familiar with, the 2 ladder matches, which we're going to, because I've always had a little caveat for them ladder matches, Ben, that a hot take that I might throw out to you when we do this. And obviously, there's other IC title stuff with Diesel and Jarrett and Goldust, and obviously that Vader match as well as last night with the company, on pay-per-view, and then we get the curtain call. We've got it covered from top to bottom, I'd say, with Razor there, Benno. What do you reckon there, mate?
Oh, yeah, Clapham playlist there as well. It's like we're kicking off, obviously, with the Razor Ramon vignettes, of which there's about 20 of them on YouTube. So just added literally all of them to the playlist. They're all there. So that'd be the most fun part, to be honest. I'll be gutted when the actual wrestling starts. But like, it's one of those. I'm the same as you, though. You mentioned like that Survivor Series match. Like, I remember the lore. I remember like that was like my first like finding out like insider stuff that wasn't happening as I was watching it. It was like, hang on, what's going on? Who's missing? Why have they changed their tag team partners? Why is WF magazine wrong? And like learning all of that kind of on the fly from me mates in school and my cousins at home and stuff as well. And like that's all I really remember about it. Though I don't have a strong memory of early heel Razor. I obviously know the 1, 2, 3 Kid lore, and I think we've covered that a little bit on Benno and Hamflet, and like it's babyface Razor that is hashtag my Razor in WWF in 95 and 96, Shawn Michaels mate, and everything that comes with it. But yeah, there's some little bits in there that'll be like I say, his first WWF match. Don't think I've ever seen that before. A little bit of a gap in my knowledge as well. So yeah, covering it well, mate, from start to finish.
Yeah, that, as you say, that is Survivor Series where it changed from Jim to the Mr. Perfect coming out of retirement. That's always one of the greatest like pivots they done on primetime wrestling. Set that up where he throws the water on Bobby Heenan and stuff, Mr. Perfect. So yeah, that'll be good to get into. And as you say, the 1, 2, 3 Kid stuff, but I mean that could talk about that all day. That
could be its own show, couldn't it?
Yeah, that could be its own show. Unbelievable. And then you get all the IC stuff. So just can't wait to dive into it. It's going to be a good one, Benno, definitely.
Bit of a conversation in the chat there about should we have a Brett Razor from Rumble 93? Could have it on Sickos, but I guessed it was left off the main playlist for retro related reasons. There's a couple we've covered before, even like the Action Zone tag. I threw that in as Sickos purely because last time what was it on? It was on the 1, 2, 3 Kid show, and you and Garrett didn't get to it, so I'm giving it a second chance of it. It'd be my third time of talking about it because we covered that on
seen it a million times
as well. So I'll make you rewatch that one, but maybe we could throw it in as an extra Sickos.
As you say, it's one of them as well, Ben. We could put everything in there, but we don't want to be doing 97 hours of own work. We want to get the.
It's less about the matches too, innit? It's going to be more like the Goldust one. We're not really covering that match in detail. We're going to be talking about, to be honest, the 6-minute video package. I've had a little play of it when I was putting the playlist together. Tells you everything you need to know about like that Goldust feud. It's going to be more of those little tangents, isn't it? Than the full match backdown. I imagine there'll be a retro breakdown of that match.
Yeah, that's coming. Of course, that'll come. And we've already done the King of the Ring 93 one with Brett and Razor as well in there. So yeah, stay little supplement show called Bretro for that one, as you say there, Benno. So, but as I say, can't wait for this Sunday to get all things Razor Ramon talked about. And not as much as I'm looking forward to talking about Danhausen today, like for sure.
Well, there's another Bretro coming as well, isn't it? I believe.
Yes, we're recording that tomorrow night.
Very soon coming up.
That's coming up whenever you want to drop it in everyone's feeds, Ben, of course, mate. So, that'll all be good.
Well, there you go. That's to look forward to too. And obviously, if you're a Benno and Hamflet fan, obviously we're on a hiatus between season 1 and season listen to. But just keep an eye on your feeds. There might be some form of special delivery potentially that you might find there. Like I did this week in Vietnam. I got a nice pack of Nike Air Jordans that cost me about £6, and this webcam that I'm using here. It's a 2K webcam, Matty. It's not 4K. I didn't know 2K was a thing. Apparently 2K is a thing they do in Vietnam. I've got here. That was my special delivery of the week. But your one could be in podcast form, so
I was going to
keep an eye out for it and listen.
I've got nothing to listen to now, Ben, or sort of say watch on me YouTube. So
I was going to think you said you had nothing to wear because these Air Jordans are like a size too small for me. I could send them. You're a size 8 or 9. I'm guessing I could send them back over to you if you want me.
I'm an 11, me, Ben.
Oh yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, you know what they say?
Don't know why that shot me so much. Yeah,
about our big feet, big shoes. There you go.
You'd be screwed over there in Vietnam. I think 9's about as high as it goes, unfortunately. But
okay.
Yeah, that will be it. Obviously, dropping soon. If anybody is bored and if anybody wants any trainers, shoot me a DM. Maybe we could sort something else. I could have like JP's hockey football shirt industry running out here at this point. But moving on from there, obviously with everything going on this month, like I say, look forward to the March mixtape as well as Ask Grapple, and like I say, Simon Show as well. We are here to talk WWE Elimination Chamber, and yeah, we teased it on Sunday, Matty. I guess we can go through it in relatively consequential order, sequential order as we go through. But I just want to ask you a question, like straight up. You had a little bit of controversy, mate, when we had your on weekend show with with some of your Dynamite thoughts, mate. A bit polarizing. A few people were very much on your side. A few people were very much against it on that as well. But I don't know. I feel like if we went 2-footed in on AEW after a pretty solid Dynamite last week, I'm just looking forward to talking about another horrendous pay-per-view from the WWE. And I wanted to open it, maybe, with just a question just an innocent question, genuinely.
Of course.
Obviously, last 3 weeks of great Dynamite, AEW is known for its great pay-per-views that we get over on that side of the fence. But I mean, what was the last WWE good pay-per-view? Like, I can't remember one now. Like, I'm looking forward to talking this with you today. But all I could think watching this, I was thinking of last year's Elimination Chamber, like. Spoilers, the opener match we're going to talk about. I was like, the version of this was way better last year. Obviously, we had the big angle that was doomed, but was a great moment. I remember being excited to record the Elimination Chamber show with you last year, and it got me thinking. I was like, oh yeah. And then WrestleMania shit the bed as well. And then I can't think of a pay-per-view from last year that I enjoyed. I mean, genuinely, what was the last good Feb pay-per-view? And I don't think you're going to, hopefully you're not going to say that they've broken the pattern here.
No, top to bottom, Ben, you're right. Like, and listen, that's how mad's that saying from top to bottom. And they're basically 4-match shows, and they can't do 4 matches, and you know what I mean, or 5 matches. You know what I mean. Obviously, Mania's the exception to that rule. But I don't know. I think Crown Jewel, I think off the top of my mind, was probably the last good one in my eyes. Mainly from start to finish. I'd have to go back and get the listings. But
I think you got on your own there.
Yeah, I think I was. It was a bit of hope. I had a bit of hope, didn't I? But I think, Benny, to be fair, I think Horrendous is a bit strong. Horrendous is a bit strong. Wasn't great by any means, but I enjoyed the wild.
It's probably a better word.
This is wild. I enjoyed the 2 chamber matches. I really did. And I enjoyed CM Punk versus Finn Balor. So it's probably the best since Crown Jewel. I mean, Becky Lynch and AJ, I don't know what that was. I mean, I'm going to go a bit harsh on that, even though AJ, with a bit of ring rust. But no, I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the women's match. Once again, I probably had low expectations going in. And I just thought Cody would win the main event. So I was actually quite surprised in how they done that. And it was a bit of a turn up. We had Seth coming back. That's all me. All that bullshit the last 10 minutes. I loved all that. So I'm going to love that main event.
Fucking terrible.
No,
every moment of it was terrible. The whole booking of that match was terrible. Logan Paul going over 3 different people just to set up a shit set angle, and then the door staying open just to do another interference angle. It was terrible, mate. Come on. I know Randy Orton won, but let's all be honest.
Terrible, but I mean, I enjoyed it. Listen, Ben, I was just.
I'll give you the women's one. The women's one was definitely the stronger of the 2. But
because we're getting some stuff for Mania down finally, literally finally. I don't know, it's the last pay-per-view before that, so everyone said, well, it's about time, and I'm going to say about time as well. So that's why I enjoyed it, because we actually got these. Whether you like Seth or not, he is a big name in WWE. He's back, so that gives you a marquee match at Mania. Hopefully, they rush Bron Breakker back and don't do Seth and Logan Paul. But after Raw,
I mean, it's going to be Seth and Logan Paul.
I don't know. After Raw, Benno, I think Logan and Theory are going for the tag belts, which I'd rather that and have Seth and they're getting Bron back. We'll see what happens with that. But as I say, Seth back, Orton winning, Cody getting the title match on SmackDown. It makes it a bit more interesting and unpredictable, even now going into WrestleMania, where we assume Cody's going to win the title. But And CM Punk, Finn Balor, listen, you know, the fans were in it. I thought the fans weren't great all night, to be fair. I mean, considering it's Chicago and considering they haven't been in this building for like 30 odd years, I thought they were pretty flat. Is Phil losing his aura in Chicago, Ben? I mean, I think he's done it for a while in AEW.
You've beaten Roman Reigns here for his promos.
They ran it too many times, though. For me, with Phil in Chicago, he was weaning off, and obviously when he come back to WWE, it was a different story. But yeah, I thought the fans weren't great all night long, and it was a sold out building, which just begs to believe why they weren't good. But overall, I was happy, Ben. I give it a thumbs up more than a thumbs down for sure, just because of the unpredictability, and the actual women's match was good. Balor and Punk had a good straight up wrestling match, obviously to a dead crowd, but I enjoyed the work there. You know what I mean? So I'd say it was a thumbs up, mate. Far from horrendous, anyway. I mean, that was a bit too strong, but you know, we beg to differ.
Well, we'll start with the women's match, and I'll work my way through some of those arguments, as I will be chopping them down as we go. Because I can't believe what you're saying about the main event. I actually do think the women's match was solid enough. I think it got immediately better, and I'm surprised even I'm saying this when Raquel Rodriguez got involved. She was the start of the match. I think, you know, there was Rhea Ripley and Asuka once they got in, like their spots were good. There were a couple of clunky things in there as well, as far as like the big spots in there. A couple of, you know, people who probably could have caught a couple of dives better than they did, and a couple of awkward moments. But overall, it achieved what it set out to do, and obviously getting Rhea over there as well, and like I say, getting Raquel Rodriguez over as like a strong character in there too. But I do think, like, if you just at a blanket point when we're talking about like comparison points, last year shit all over it. Like last year they had all these stories going on, obviously with Bianca Belair, and we had last year. I remember us. Even I was with you, like saying how great that was, especially compared to the men's, and we've had that pattern, you know, when it's come to some of these pay-per-views. But I think this was better than the men's, only because the men's was so terrible. But yeah, it sounds like you're a higher man than me on it.
Yeah, no, this Ben, I thought everyone looked all right in this, Ben. In the women's one, I thought, as you say, therefore, Kiana James, I mean, for me, she's come out. I'm not saying I'm a big fan, but obviously the Fed are a fan of her. She's getting like a mini push at the minute and getting featured, shall I say, heavily. And she's not shitting the bed or not, and she's actually doing all right. But when Asuka come in with her, that's when it did pick up. And then you got Tiffy in there who done a few. I love the what is it? The back handspring elbow into the pod. She took a few decent bumps in this, Tiffy, as well. But then, obviously, when Raquel come here, she was the one that got shot on the most. And the running power slam, the bulldog slam through the pods, right through the other side, that was a cracking spot. And obviously, you know, I said that on the weekend show, if Rhea and Io lost the tag belts, which they did on SmackDown, then Rhea was always going to be the obvious winner in this one. And I agree, maybe it didn't have the story going in like last year, which I think that's why the men's was better this year. But the straight up wrestling was decent enough. Everyone got featured, and the right winner won if we're going to WrestleMania. Even though it is cold and coming out of nowhere, you obviously got 6 weeks to heat Rhea and Jade, which on paper and putting it on a picture on a billboard is a match that you'd fucking promote at a WrestleMania. You know what I mean? It just hasn't got no story going in. And as I say, we've got time to get that. But as a 2 women wrestlers on a billboard for WrestleMania, I'm down with it for sure. Like.
I mean, the story is working the sheets, or the story is they're both really angry at each other as a shoot, and who knows what's going on there. Mixed reports, obviously, the stuff going on with Jade and Rhea now. I don't know about, like, using Twitter to get over your feuds. It feels a bit like using the UK fan forum back in the Alex Shane days, back when you were on the UK fan forum. That's how fucking long ago it was. I guess it's just normal now, but I don't know. I feel like the problem is a lot of what Rhea's saying is true, that, you know, Jade kind of is just what she is at this point, like, and isn't, you know, as we were saying at AEW, like we kept saying, oh, she needs reps, she needs time, she's been in WWE this entire time, and she's not gotten any better. And if this is a shoot, she's also not got any better at reading the room and knowing what lines to cross in building a match and what ones not to. So I don't know, it doesn't bode well, and does. As a negative, we're talking about last year's Women's Chamber. It reminds me of the negatives in last year's WrestleMania build, where we had Lottie and Tiffy throwing barbs at each other, and it's not like it helped things there either, did it? So, yeah, I don't know about that being a positive direction coming out of it, but like I say, it achieved its aims. The most notable stuff in there was, like you say, obviously the big rear dive and the little bit of the oversell that she had in there as well. Like I say, a couple of strange spots there. That odd one where she was going back and forth with Alexa Bliss, and they were both kind of going for like the Bray Wyatt finish, and they were both kind of on the wrong side of each other, and then they fell over. Like those early teething problems were ironed out by the time they got to the final stretch, and it was a by the numbers chamber match for me, if not spectacular.
But this is I was speaking to funny enough, speaking to Cleary about this morning, literally about like, obviously talking about a little pivot, sorry, but we will stay a little bit, like the announcement of John Moxley versus Hechicera on Dynamite this week. He sent me that.
We'll talk about that later. It's on the notes. It's on the news.
Okay, good. Right, so thank you.
Weekend show fans look forward to that.
Yeah, but my point is about that. It escalated into like,
but it'll be good.
No, my point. No, well, that's another story. But my point is, I would cover is that we did a minute professional wrestling, but it's like wrestling now built up, like you're saying there. It's on Twitter, and WWE probably got worse than AEW for it, and AEW would have posted fucking children for it. Everything's built online, like everything's built on fucking line. Everything's shades of grey. Everything's shoot, everything is. There's no wrestling, hardly any wrestling anymore, Ben. And that's why, once again, apart from the main event, why I like the men's. I know it's Seth Rollins and silly mask men, but that's wrestling. At least it's not fucking built up on fucking line. At least it's not fucking thing. But we'll go. But that's what I'm trying to say. Everything else is
it's the lowest common denominator wrestling storytelling. It's a terrible example of that.
No, I know, but listen. That's where we disagree. You know what I mean? People in the building popped it. You're always going to get that with proper wrestling. You're always going to get a big pop when a mask gets
surprise, isn't it?
You know what I mean? No, but it's proper though, Benno. For me, that's proper stuff. But as
doesn't make it entertaining television, does it? Like the crowd would pop if Rhino and Matt Hardy turned up, but it doesn't mean that it makes it entertaining or compelling to watch, does it?
Well, no, that won't, because that's just isolated. This is a part of a story that they're telling. This is a part
of a broken story that half the people have, half people injured in are gone. Like,
but at least they're trying to pivot and trying to still make it make sense. You know what I mean? I appreciate that instead of just scrapping it.
So it's a bad story, B. Greg.
Oh, well, we'll go into that in a bit anyway. But what I'm
trying to say is just for telling a story. Like we're all telling stories, aren't we? Or every wrestling match is telling a story. Every story line, by definition, is a story. But it's not a good story.
Yeah, but we'll save it, because I don't see why Seth coming back to get revenge is a terrible story. When what would you rather him do? Come back and just shake their hands? Do you know what I mean? No, he's coming back to get revenge anyway. I digress on the
on who? Someone left for him to get revenge on. Cut bait, kill Jester.
We're talking a bit, but what I'm trying to say, like I said, there everything's built online, and that's what it does do me head in. Even like stuff on Raw, isn't it? And I know we're gonna probably on the flip side, where like Roman and Punk are throwing shoot comments in there, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, that's just the way wrestling is. We just got to accept that, I suppose, at this point in the game. But
like, we've got to accept the masked men. 21 of them, Andy saying here in the chat we've had. 21 times Triple H has gone back to that trope.
As he, it was like every book has got tropes, you know what I mean? And listen, I'm just sticking up for Triple H here. I'm going to put the fucking 2 feet on him loads of times during this. But that's, once again, before I got sidetracked there, I'm not sticking up for Jade, but well, you wound me up as well. But Jade as well, she hasn't improved. But that's where I think this comes down to Triple H as well, though, Benno. He hasn't really given her a chance to improve. Soon as she's won the title, she's hardly fucking defended it. She's hardly had matches since she's won the title. At the same time, there's no house shows. She's not fucking on NXT turning up. So how is she going to get better? That's what I'm trying to say about Triple H. It's not even stale at the minute. There's just something so off about him. Like you say, maybe he's not in these rooms. He's only a face when he needs to be on pay-per-view nights. He's not in these creative meetings. There's something off, because he wasn't like this at all. If anything, he had his finger on the thing, he'd be telling these stories at a slow pace, and I'd much rather that than what we're getting at the minute.
Yeah.
But
it does feel a little bit default book, and it feels a little bit like, when Tony Khan's had his weak periods at times, like where he's had something written down on a spreadsheet, and it becomes 6 months later and it's ice cold, and we still do it because it's been written on that spreadsheet, or it's been on that whiteboard, and all logic be damned. That kind of little, I know what you're saying. Rhea and Jade feels like the big time WrestleMania match, but you've got,
but that's an it though, at the same time.
You've got to build it, you've got to earn it, you've got to get to that point through means that aren't these cheap internet heat ways that they're going with for it. But that's what we're getting out of it. Did you have any other notes on the match before we move on?
No.
Anybody else?
Really. No,
3-star chamber match, wasn't it? And it's a big fucking gimmick, this.
It was like, once again, though, I was higher on it. On them, I enjoyed them for being like slightly different this time. But it's once again, it's when you're still getting 2 in a night, it's hard to differentiate. But once again, that's why I like one. One was more story based. One was more actually keeping it in there to the wrestling. So it is what it is at this point, mate. When you're having 2 gimmicks a night, the same one, and a 4-match show, it's tough. But this was on the higher end of them for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Missing a couple of stars for me. We'll get there when we do. Speaking of the women's division, second match, as you said before, one I think we'll agree on: AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Like, I don't know what Becky Lynch has done, but based on the way the Rumble went, and based on this booking here, and based on the multitude of things AJ Lee was kicking out of here, I don't think is the most in favor right now. I assume we're running it back, but. Yeah, what's your interest in that, considering what we got here? A clunky. It was clunky. It was a mess, but I didn't expect anything different. I don't think AJ Lee has been around enough, like you say, to your point, or had the reps enough to expect anything better than this. It wasn't shit the bed like area, but it was along those lines. It was 2-star match. Like, there was really not much to kind of like grab onto here, was that, as far as the work goes. And it did feel like, from that work point of view, Becky was just trying to hold on, and it was booked and laid out at a snail's pace just to try and give AJ Lee a match on easy mode, and even then she was struggling. But I don't know. They love AJ, and obviously Raw this week tells you that too.
And I won't go too much in on AJ because of that. I thought it's a decade since she's had a singles match, you know what I mean, where it's one-on-one, where she's not getting help off, with Punk and Seth in there, or the other 8 women in the War Games, you know what I mean? This was Benty was a...
And they could have given her reps. I know, obviously, that would hurt with, presenting her as the special attraction that they want to have for Mania season, and then who knows what she personally wants to do. But this is the negative of, isn't it? You get those positives, but the negative is you get somebody who's obviously, like you say, not wrestled in 10 years.
I personally would have just shot a big angle between these in Chicago. If you need AJ on the show because it's in Chicago, you shoot the angle to get the match at WrestleMania and just have that one and done at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? If you're taking a chance on it, as you say, being clunky, but no, Ben, I think this was very much near a shit the bed territory. And once again, I don't want to go too-footed because Becky Lynch was just obviously trying to carry her, but there was just so much stuff that was amateur in this, Ben, like missed time and stuff, just getting into place stuff too early, and AJ forgot a few things. And once again, I don't want to go all in, but Becky Lynch, though, Ben, she's just been dreadful. I was turning the corner on her, but ever since about 6 months back, she's been fucking awful as well. The only bit in the match was good. I think they did do a bit build up to a big near fall, which AJ kicked out of when the ref went down and such. That got a decent pop. But then it was kind of like we just went straight to the finish as well with the tap out, which didn't look like she could lock it in properly as well. That was weird. So just a pure off night, do you know what I mean? And once again, I don't think the fans were even great for this one. I mean, they get worse in the next match.
Which is mad, isn't it? Considering Chicago and considering how they reacted when AJ came back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's. I would have saved it for Mania, lad. And I'll say, just done a big angle here, but they went this way, and I've got zero interest. Ben, I was seeing a rematch at WrestleMania. Genuinely, we've seen it, haven't we? And it wasn't good. So unless you're going to put it in a big gimmick to prop it, but then last time Becky had a big gimmick fucking match was the Lia Valkyria SummerSlam one, wasn't it? And that shit the bed because there was too many ideas. So God knows, mate, at this point, but no, don't want to see the rematch at all.
Uninspired as well because of, like I say, Becky does just feel like somebody who's lost a load of stock, and not just because of what she fucking looks like, but the fuck was she wearing in this match, by the way? Looks like she was wrestling literally in a jacket. What was she doing? I don't get it. The gimmick's never been for me, though, has it? Even you as a WWE defender, she's just not for you either, is she?
No,
I know those people hire on it anyway, but even us, who aren't fans, we can still see she's clearly someone who's a star, clearly someone you probably should be protecting better than you're on. It just seems weird that they're not.
No, but as I say, I could not stand it in the man stuff and all that. I was always Team Lottie all the way. But obviously you couldn't deny the overness and couldn't deny she was a star. But then she had the heel turn with the big time Bex, and she was all right. But then she come out of that with the NXT stuff when she got Tiffany starting over. That turned the corner for me. Even the Trish feud, go back to that cage match ender, was way better than anyone could have imagined. That was good. Even the early stuff with Lyra and Bailey, that was good. But then she starts to, when she gets praise, I think she's one of them people that just believes the hype too much and gets in her own head and get its own ideas. Shit the bed at SummerSlam, and I shit the bed ever since in her performances. Though this new character is terrible. This being scared of AJ, it's the worst acting, but it's not meant to be that bad. It's good. It's just shit. It is so cringy. She needs to just stop it right now. Like, genuinely awful.
Well, moving on from there. Speaking of the AJ family, obviously we'd see it again a few minutes later. We had CM Punk and Finn Balor. This was the point where I woke up. It was about 8:15 Vietnamese time, and I realized the show was still on, so I threw it on. It took me a while to get the stream running, but I did eventually get it on during this one. Rewatched it again today. Surprised to hear you say that you love this. I thought this was fine. I thought this was solid. I thought this was pretty good wrestling. I mean, if good wrestling matches exist, obviously, to quote Simon in the chat, this was one of them. But I think, as we said in the preview going into it, it was always going to struggle to live up to the atmosphere and the, you know, everything around the Belfast match that they had. And also, you know, it's a match that, you know, again, if we're going to be fair about criticizing things on the other channel, as far as like the winner, it was pretty much a given. It was pretty much a match for match's sake. And I'm not sure, like I say, the magic of doing it in Belfast, and I get the idea of, oh, well, we'll do the rematch in Punk's hometown and we'll do it there, really works, especially as well when Balor's pretty much been damaged goods for a while. I've enjoyed this little rehab tour of him. He seems to have a little bit more of a fire under him, doesn't he? Even just switching the music back has been a positive for him as well. But yeah, as a match, I thought it was pretty good. I got what Punk was trying to do. I'm sure you can retro us with the sharpshooter law that he was going through here, and obviously calling back to another Bret Hart Chicago match in there. There was a great spot when the one where he stuck the leg up and caught him in the sharpshooter as Balor came off the top. I really enjoyed that, and knowing Punk's athletic limits, and obviously Balor is going to carry a spot like that. That was set up to fail. It worked nice. Most of the sequences in this were crisp. They were clean. It was a nice, solid 3.25 to 3.5 star match. But, you know, it's not like the other one was pulling up trees. It just felt that little bit more special, and you had that little bit more doubt, which was never going to come here. But, yeah, a good little wrestling match, if that's still a thing we're all allowed to enjoy, Matthew.
We all are allowed to enjoy better when they're actually good little wrestling matches. But my point is about this one is that the fans, obviously, I couldn't believe how quiet they were. Like, genuinely, it deserved a bit better, the actual wrestling. But
do you think it was the Punk entrance? Like, the whole thing with, like, playing the Bulls theme?
Yeah,
and then,
it might have been
like,
I don't know.
And then I heard Michael talking about, I heard it through Steph that Michael was talking about it. I've actually heard the podcast. But, like, I'd seen that note for a couple of people before I went back and rewatched it. And it is weird watching Punk walk through the backstage area, and there's all, like, these influencers who should currently be fleeing somewhere in the Middle East, like just having a little fucking chat and having a little drink. Like, I don't know what was going on there. No one paying attention to Punk. It did make it feel less than it did. It was a really weird way to do it.
Listen, it was a bit self-indulgent as well, if we're being honest, Ben. I know you're a Phil guy. It was a bit too much for me, you know what I mean? But
Larry on the back of his jacket.
That's fair. Now, listen, I'm not a dog lover, but that's fair play. You know, you can have your dog and your attack. That's fair enough. It was just.
I mean, it was his first ever match in the United Center, to be fair, Matty, or whatever they tried to say.
Okay, but still, like, but
just the collision. I think it was the collision tag he did there, obviously, as well as the initial comeback.
Yeah, big debut. But no, on the match, like, I think it deserved better from the crowd for the wrestling. But once again, maybe because it was a foregone conclusion, you never really bought much in it. But I will say that,
like we say about Dynamite, why would you be invested in this? Why would you?
With the Finn, the only thing I will push back on is that I think the Finn Balor stuff isn't just it's Finn Balor. Like he has been used in times. Finn Balor, it's a title match or a 2 title match program, and then we're back. I think it is going to lead to him actually turning face. So it has been used well as a device with Dominic and JD, which followed on Raw, do you know what I mean? And Punk challenge him and call him out to say he doesn't need them. So it's going to lead to that at least, even though the result was absolutely, never in doubt. But at least we're going to get that out of it. I will stick up for them on that. But yeah, the actual stuff, Benno, in there, it wasn't a frenetic pace, like you might see on the other channel, but it was good crisp wrestling, like you said, and that counter off the coup de grace off the top, as you say, that probably go wrong 99 times due to Phil. You know what I mean? But he lived up to it and he fucking nailed it. It was one of the smoothest transitions I've seen in ages on anything, though, and especially because you don't expect it from him at the same time. So I love that, and even busted.
We're gonna get to the Raw promo later, but like I don't think he's got his rhythm at all when it comes to cutting promos right now. But he's got his rhythm as far as working, like these little Raw matches that he's been doing, and just generally not working. Obviously, he's not working full time. He's not going to match every week, but he seems like he's in like a good kind of feeling place, doesn't he? It feels like he's in a good place where he's got some of those cobwebs off, and he's just going out there and he's just feeling natural in the ring. Like it was another. If this was on Raw again, I'd be like, oh yeah, another solid Raw match. It was a pay-per-view match, is probably what I'd say.
Yeah, a little bit of blood in there as well. Ben off one of them kicks when he caught to the face as well
on his lips.
Open there. But it was. But even the finish though, Ben, I thought that was a little bit out of nowhere. They could have actually went with a few more false finishes, maybe. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It was just
the commentary was flat, wasn't it? Michael Cole was like, "Oh, and he had to go to sleep again anyway," and it was like the commentary didn't know that was the finish.
It was definitive. It was them boots, like he got his own back, like looked like Daniel Bryan-esque like boots, didn't it? Where he held the arms and just. Booting him to the face and then the GTS, it was pretty definitive, which I suppose you're gonna do.
It probably should be, in fairness.
Yeah, it should be, but it was a bit out of nowhere still. So, but overall, thought it was a good, as you say, good little wrestling match, Benno. A pleasant surprise, I'd say.
There you go. I'm just glad you can still enjoy such things, mate. But more on that later. I will say, did you enjoy Punk? Obviously, we had AJ come out post-match here and celebrate with Punk awkwardly to the point where it really did feel like maybe somebody backstage had sent out there and she didn't necessarily want to be there. But I don't know what you make of our Phil celebrating with the two belts here in his little weight room. I don't know.
It's bad, isn't it? It's really bad. Like it's bad behavior. He's just once again. It's the self-indulgence of him. He can't be stopped. He's the biggest in the company. Like I'd say, Roman's back now, obviously for Mania, but he's running roughshod on Raw. Any Punk getting away with doing what he wants. No one's calling him out on it.
He's my emergency contact. AJ Lee said. I don't know if he's wearing it particularly well.
This is what you get, Lars. So yeah, I mean that's a terrible picture, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It's the wig, isn't it? On top of it as well, on top of like just the.
It's the fact he's 50. He's nearly a 50-year-old man doing this. It's not Shawn Michaels who's 50.
And he wasn't in good shape when he was 25, mate, either, you know. As a man who also wasn't in good shape when he was 25, can tell you.
He needs to be stopped, Ben, and one man can do that at WrestleMania, which we'll go into in a bit, but he does need to be stopped at this point, Phil.
Well, more on that when we get there, because we got the big headline of the show to come out. As we did get the big crate reveal, which we did strap you down and Clockwork Orange style make you watch on the Sunday show. So there still are remnants of that in the show that I was allowed to keep in, and as WWE killed us for copyright on that one. But now you've sat back and you've watched it in full. How do you feel about Danhausen and WWE? It makes me laugh that the Triple H is clearly making sure like the word is out there. Oh, we weren't all sold on bringing him in, you know. It wasn't a definitive thing as the story to making sure they get out there, because very clearly this ties to Phil. Phil wants them in, didn't he? It was entirely Phil's call to get him in there, and there's probably a couple of people backstage who were fighting his corner. Although at press time, Triple H did just do a tweet where he posted a picture of himself and Danhausen, so we can't completely hide behind not being up for it. I guess we've got to talk it with it in a conjunction with Raw. I feel like Raw was how you present Danhausen, and this pay-per-view, if, to your point, you're going to have Danhausen on a WWE pay-per-view, is not how you do it.
No, listen, I mean, I don't need to keep repeating myself. Like, I don't want him anywhere near the Fed at all. Don't want him nowhere. But if you're going to do what you're going to do with him, Raw was actually perfect of what you do with him. You put him on screen with Dominic, with over people who you're going to get over by proxy just by being on sharing screen time with. And you're going to do a silly little curse on Dom, which leads to him winning the IC, and Dom can fume back. And, well, we don't want to see a match between them. Do you know what I mean? But if he does all arsing about like that, listen, I don't have to, for fuck's sake. Like, that's the picture for all the old listeners. Like, it still doesn't look real, though, does it? It looks like Photoshopped. It fucking does. This is where he's fully. I don't even know if I'm sticking up with Triple H here or giving the benefits of the doubt. It's like, I've got to do the fucking point, but it's why is he there? And as you say, Triple H can't he can't like him, Benno. He can't, can he? Or he's just lost his mind and he's just like, years ago where like JR had hired him and then like, you know what I mean? And someone's Road Dogg.
Yeah, that'd be football players though, wouldn't it? It would be Danhausen.
That's what who's doing the hiring here. Fucking, I don't know. Blake can't even be Road Dogg at this point, and then Triple H just going, "Oh, okay, I'll do the picture with them." there's something up because he would never have signed him in my merch or not. Because I keep hearing about this fucking mythical merch with Danhausen. Let's see how much merch he sells when he gets into the big time. Do you know what I mean?
A lot.
And if he does, fair play. I'm not gonna cut his legs off for that, but I'm cutting his legs off for everything else because he looks terrible, he sounds terrible, he wrestles terrible, and he fucking is terrible.
I mean, he can do a Colt Cabana style comedy match for you. He can do something on the under. He's not going to wrestle though. Was the point?
Comedy's
like we were saying,
funny,
like
you know what I mean?
He is funny. Like the stuff we've done backstage, like you say, was funny.
No. Yeah, but he's not funny. That's my point. So you get a Dom and a Finn Balor even, and they've got to make it funny to bounce
Finn
off.
Balor, the comedy style into Finley Balor.
But he was brilliant because he was like, look at this guy, he's new, give him a chance where Dom's fucking hating him. Do you know what I mean? That's what you got to do for this fucking idiot to get over and to make it actually entertaining. Honest to God. Like, but anyway, if he just keeps doing that and keeps him out the ring, I can half live with it. I can't. But we'll see how it gets. We can see what it's like going forward, can't we?
It just begs the question more, like, again, obviously, like, because Meltzer's reported, obviously, since the pay-per-view, that, you know, people backstage were talking about it like it was a gobbledygook moment. Like, it felt like that was on purpose, and yet still it was bad. It was like, if you're going to unveil this new character, who I absolutely believe is going to be okay. Like I say, he's going to end up on NXT. He's going to end up on AAA. He's going to be across all the programs most likely by the time he's done here. And that's the thing. Even if the main roster run fails, he's always got those avenues to go in. But you could feel it already on Raw. Like, he is going to get over with this audience. But the way you don't get him over is to have, like you say, the women come out first in the makeup before he does. Then you reveal him, and then he doesn't talk, and then he just shows Michael Cole some teeth and then walks off. Like, I like that, at least on Raw, that like he's self-aware enough to obviously make reference to getting no reaction there as well, but doing that too and doing it in a way that where I think there's a strong assumption, like the WWE Chicago fans or the AEW Chicago fans, and Steph always mentions it and other people say it too, they're not necessarily the same fucking people. So that was already a failing as well. And it just, Raw usage, as you say, is exactly how you do use them if you want to give them the best chance of getting over. It just feels like maybe they didn't want to give them the best chance of getting over. And like I say, I know they were aiming for so bad it was good, but it was just bad, wasn't it, what they did on Saturday night? And hopefully they've learned the lesson a little bit, because I'm rooting for him, mate. I want him to be seems like a nice bloke. Like I say, he does ship lots of merchandise. I like people who get over, like you do. You like Jey Uso, and you like other worse wrestlers than Danhausen. You know, we like people who can do the hard bit, as you've stated, Matty. The easy bit is having wrestler matches. The hard bit is getting a cult fan base and getting yourself over. And I think that's the bit that he's gonna succeed in, despite everything. I think he will be. We're gonna see him on those WWE shop financials that WrestleNomics put out, those top 10 lists. He's gonna be number one, like he was on Pro Wrestling Tees, and like I think he was high up on AEW, even though they weren't even using him on telly. Like,
no,
he's gonna get over, and I reckon by the my slight prediction is by the end of the year, and I go, he's not that bad. He's not that bad.
Oh, listen, but you're saying Jey Uso had a cult following. No, he's got a worldwide following, Jey Uso. But let's not put Jey Uso.
And he's such a bad wrestler that they took him out of Elimination Chamber between the time we did weekend show and Saturday.
I wish I was the worst wrestler in the world and getting these big reactions every time I just come out into the building.
Do you wish you were Danhausen?
I wish. This fella's not going to get any sort of reactions. He's getting number one, right? Let's get that. Let's not put them in the same sentence. But number two,
they are the same animal, aren't they?
To be fair to him, though, Danhausen, if that was anybody else debuting, do you know what I mean? As you know, Benno, as I always say, my trademark, I'm a fair man. If this was anybody else, it'd just be a shit debut. It's not just because it was him. It was, as you say, the way it was portrayed, executed, laid out. It was just fucking awful, no matter what. So that's not even his fault, to be fair to him. And as I said, and as you said, Raw's the perfect thing, what you do with them. But we will see, Ben. You're going a bit too far with him, as if like he's going to be number one merch seller. He's going to be this over. He might get a cheer, yeah. He's not going to be over. Do you get what? There's a difference. Only a few wrestlers get over, Benno. You know what I mean? We've watched it for 35 years here, mate. You can have a nice little pop. Only so many fewer over, mate. When you walk into the building and the whole place comes, and stadiums, and they come unglued. Very, very, very short list, that, mate. But anyway,
Jey Uso, are
well, of course he is, because you've not watched every stadium going ballistic for him. But anyway, let's move on.
It's a shame he can't follow it up. But speaking of which, we can follow it up with the match that he wasn't in, mate, because clearly the booking has realised that he might have struggled
You're
in this,
hating this
in
one,
this
aren't you?
spot.
This made
Struggled for the last year.
a few times here. You fucking hating it, aren't you?
It's true though. Like, it is true, you know. But obviously, I couldn't stand this match. I'm surprised to hear you. Well, I'm not that surprised. I'm surprised to hear you defend it though.
I'm gonna say
A small amount, because I just don't think it was a good. Wasn't a good example of the genre. It wasn't a good example from a booking point of view. I just think everything about it didn't work, and that's without even getting into the finish. Because very obviously Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes, but probably Drew McIntyre is not going to be the matches for WrestleMania. We are going towards like a 4-way match or a 3-way match or some kind of a creative booking which we can get into. But even not getting there, like, I just thought it was lazy, it was badly executed. Like I say, Logan Paul getting so much in there. Again, I get it if they are pushed to do the Seth Rollins match, which I don't think they are. I don't think they have to do it. I think they could have dropped this story. You kind of want to get him over, but then, he got eliminated pretty uniformly and routinely when he did get taken out of it, so kind of reduces the need to do that. Trick Williams was over like a rover in the match itself, and, well, at least in his entrance, and then didn't really seem to do too much. Obviously, LA Knight looked a bit of a mess in the match. Randy was just there, and I don't think he was anyone's prediction for it. Javon Evans is like, so forgettable in the match that they obviously don't even know what his name is at this point on his entrance. It was just messy and didn't really achieve much for me, really, other than, like I say, give us this side door out of the WrestleMania main event that nobody wants to see. But I don't know about that either. I don't know about Randy being the answer to it. And again, they're going to pretend now, aren't they? They're going to pretend this entire time we've been telling this interesting Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes story. They haven't. They stopped about 6 months ago, and they're obviously going to try and reheat it now. But just uninspired as far as, again, the pacing of it too. Like, everything about it, it was a 2-star match, and this is the main event of a pay-per-view on the road to WrestleMania. Mate, surely we should expect more than what we got here.
No, I was indulged by it, Benno. I loved the last 10 minutes. Like, I did. I absolutely fucking loved it. Like, I know what you're saying there. No,
it's supposed to be Elimination Chamber. I know it's the Hell in a Cell being, the law of that being broken in the first match, obviously.
Fucking
but
hell. What year is it?
What's the point of an Elimination Chamber match if the door's just going to stay open for the last 15 minutes?
It's not 1965. Fucking hell. How many
it's not 1999 either.
How many fucking anarchy and whatever you call them, war games, how many fucking gimmick matches?
Yeah, and we criticise that too.
Oh, come on. I'm not John about it. I'm about WWE. Come on, you can't go in with that as your main gripe. Surely, no, you can. I agree with
it was terrible. It was lazy.
The Logan Paul,
it was bad storytelling.
The wrestlers are portrayed. I can half see that. But let's not go there with the 1960s.
There are a million more creative ways
than
back-to-back interferences in a supposed cage match where it's supposed to be a cage match than to do it.
But it made sense.
What made sense about it?
So when Seth Rollins has come in, when they've had the fucking copycat coming in, so the door's open, isn't it? Because the copycat distracted everyone so he can get in there. Tick box of how you get in the fucking chamber. That's not like he hasn't got fucking big bolt cutters or electrocuted it, has he, on fire to get in there? That's logical. Yeah, we still on board there. So Seth Rollins gives Logan Paul a stomp. So they're getting Seth Rollins out of there, which allows Drew McIntyre to come in, hence the door still being open. That's logical stuff. It's not as if they have this big spooky Undertaker shit coming out there. It was all made sense, Benno. I get you don't like Logan Paul, I get you don't like Seth Rollins.
Overbooked mess is what it was.
How
many words you needed to describe the events of what happened there? Like, that is the definition of overbooked.
That's the Fed. That's what the Fed does. It gives you the.
This is the bad Fed.
No, not on this instance. No, as you say, maybe of the wrestlers, Logan Paul stuff. Yeah, I think Platt made a great point in our chat there. They might have laid the match out for Bronson Reed to be like that, and that is lazy if they just thought, well, we'll put Logan Paul in, and he gets that. No, I don't think. No, push back on that. Push back on the last 5 or 10 minutes for sure, because that was when it was exciting for me. That was when it screams Fed. A big return, big pop, setting you up, paying stories off, whether it's been pivoted or not, telling stories. Like the shock and ending, we all knew Drew was going to get involved. If you're watching the show, hence, once again, logical storytelling of why Cody Rhodes gets the title match on SmackDown, because he's been pissing Nick Aldis off for the last 6 to 8 weeks. it all makes sense. And I thought Fatu would get involved, to be fair. So they toned it down in my eyes with Drew coming in. So that's all fine and good for me. It's logical. Once again,
it's cheap, it's tacky. There's other words you could use too.
I'm not going into but this is the Fed though. Like you've seen it for years. Yeah. This is what WWE
and there's
does.
Good and bad, and this is bad. This is uninspired. This is lazy.
What I will say is, and I'm not going to just all of a sudden say, oh, but at least they're trying. I think personally, I think it could be even fucking a 6-pack. If you're going to go multi-man, you might as well just do a 6-pack challenge at this point. You might as well have just.
You should be applauded for changing plans. I agree with that.
All hog with it and just go ballistic with it. You know what I mean? Because obviously Orton in there, Fatu and Sami Zayn, unless they have their own match, they're shoehorned in, and Trick Williams can be through in there. There's your 6 men. You might as well just do that. But I did like the shocking ending with Orton winning, not just because I'm a Randy guy. It's just because it was just wearing Cody, and it gives something to tune into SmackDown to, and it keeps it going. Because if we're keeping it this late, like I say, if you're going whole hog, do a 6-pack. If you're keeping announcing the Mania match late, you might as well just keep running with it and do it in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Announce it at this point.
Are you interested in any of it though? Like genuinely, are you interested in Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul? Are you interested genuinely in a I know it's better than what they were going for, but like it's still uninspired, isn't it? As a WrestleMania WWE title match, and yeah, as Simon says, you're not gonna get away with it's the Fed. I'm just gonna say it's AEW now when it comes to talking their stuff.
That's all everyone says. It's AEW. I'm not. No, I don't just mean it's the Fed and that's the excuse. That's what WWE does. The returns and the shockings and stuff like that. That's me.
Yeah, and there's more creative ways to do it than your 20-second masked man
before gone conclusion. That's AEW. This is WWE. Do you know what I mean? That's what we do here.
Is it?
But my point is, sorry, what did you? I mean, am I interested in it?
I mean, it's a lot of the matches we talked about tonight. That not just AEW. It's SmackDown. No, I'm not. Wrestling television.
Yes, I'm not interested. But AEW's part of that. I'm not interested in Seth Rollins and Logan Paul now because I've seen it 2 years ago at WrestleMania. So if that's your pivot, that is bad. But I once again, after seeing Raw, I'm pretty confident that that's going to be the tag title match, and I'm hoping they rush Bron Breakker back for this because obviously with them putting Heyman out now, he can make the call to Bron. That's what I'm hoping, and that's a big Mania match, and that has been, with the turn last year. That's fine, and that's the use always for division. People will say, but at least it's not Logan and Seth. That's my caveat for that. At least they're in a tag team title match, so I'll take that. And regarding the WWE title, Ben, as I say, it's been a mess since the start.
Of their own creating,
of their own creating, but of Cody's creating. And once again, I feel bad.
It's Cody's fault.
It is because he's the one who said Drew should have beat him, by all reports, and I feel bad for celebrating now. Well, you do. He's your fucking messiah, isn't he?
No, that's not true at all. Same in AEW when they decide to do the stupid hangman stick with him and say that he's never going to be world champion again. Like, that's all we talked about at the time. That might be a stupid idea. Doesn't mean you should listen to him. Wrestlers come up with stupid ideas all the time. Like, the book doesn't stop with Cody. The book stops with whoever greenlit that, surely.
But as I say, if you're going ballistic with it, you might as well now. But yeah, a multi-man, and as you say, I was even saying Cody and Orton, I hope they don't do it too late. It's maybe too late now. They have still been putting little things in there, Ben. I agree with you. They can't say they've been building this up for 2 years every week. They still put the little shit in, do you know what I mean? The way they didn't touch each other. And I did like the way they presented
break glass in case of emergency.
They didn't, Orton didn't do it last time, and it cost them. And then obviously fucking Malachi, Alistair Black getting in his ear. And he pulled the trigger this time because he didn't touch all match, did he? And the first time he touched was the RKO, and he took advantage. So this way Sammy can get in because he was kicking off about the other week. So in a way, it has been half. That's what I mean. How it's half making sense, and then people. But we want other matches at this point. That's my thing. But as I say, with it being all over the place, just let's go along for the ride at this point. That's what I'm saying. But I'd rather a 6-pack. I'd love to see it. I don't know why, because I don't think you're going to get 3 singles matches out of this now. You're going to get a multi-man and maybe the odd 2 out having a singles, but we'll have to watch Friday night. I know what it's all about now. We have to watch SmackDown on Friday, and let's see if Cody gets the belt back.
It's slopping it. Like
you can't do Drew dirty though. I mean, I'd love it. I'd want if I had to have a singles match though, Ben. I'd want Cody and Orton. I'd want that as your singles and fuck Drew off. But I don't think they'll do Drew dirty like that.
Again, you'd have had to done the work to get there, wouldn't you? They haven't done it. Like they just haven't done it. It's an emergency plan, therefore the multi-person makes sense. But like I said, just to go back to that match as well. Like I still feel like I know what you're saying, like the people reacted to like those moments, the set coming out and stuff like that. But it's almost like, is this not the chickens coming home to roost? Because they didn't really react to much else, as you said yourself through this show. They didn't feel necessarily invested until we went to the 27th time of doing these interference spots and doing these reveal spots. Like, it's a problem of their own creating, isn't it? And it's a problem of their own bad creative over the last time. Like the chat saying there, it's just Road Dogg going, fuck it, we'll do another mass man angle. We'll get a reaction to that in the building and we'll sort everything else later. It is all lazy. The WrestleMania card is lazy. It is it's got to be the most uninspired build to WrestleMania in how many years, Matty? Not that I was, saying it was amazing last year, because last year had a lot of problems. The year before had a lot of problems, but it was all a lot more interesting than all of this.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not going to push back on that and what I've said for months. Like, I want to be teased in October, knowing what a couple of WrestleMania matches are. We just haven't been. Do you know what I mean? But listen, I'm not. I feel like I'm going to proper defend the Mash Man stuff here, but I'm not. I get it. I mean, I get it before this feud. You've done it with the Usos, with Fatu in a cage match this year. You've done it a lot of times, so I get it. But within this universe of division, it makes sense. You shouldn't have done it outside the division, is my point. Like a Fatu this year. Why couldn't you have just come out, I don't know, in a red hoodie or a blue hoodie? Do you know what I mean? If you want to just mix it up even shitly like that. But in the Vision world, this makes sense because that's what's happened at Survivor Series, which leads to all this bollocks now. So I'm not, listen, I get what people are saying, but it does make sense in this world. You shouldn't do it outside of it. But, and I like the copycat stuff on SmackDown and Elimination Chamber. That's a nice little thing for me. I enjoyed that. But I get overall, and this, I agree with the overall creative. It is not consistent. Don't get me wrong, they've had a few injuries to the defense and stuff like that, but even then, it feels like the pivots, though, after you're giving them credit for pivoting and changing, they're probably better on the fly at the minute than they were when they were slug pace, when Triple H was actually good. It's just a weird dichotomy, Ben, if that's the right word, of what's going on at the minute. We just can't put our fingers on it. It is wild. I'm not going to sit here and change my mind off one main event that I enjoyed because it had a lot of shit that I liked. It's still up in the air. Everything's still there, but it's not. It's their own doing, like you say. It's not like, let's creatively do this to make it. Like Cody span it the weekend interview, didn't he? Oh, this is the most, like, what was the word he used in the interview? Like, wacky or, unpredictable WrestleMania ever. Yeah, but it weren't meant to be, you know what I mean? It's only because they haven't decided it, because of the ticket sales, because of this, that, and the other. You can't just keep spinning it, which they do, and they always have done, to be fair, but it's one of them, Ben. I don't know. Come the night. I mean, look at me. And he weren't even on the show here. Sorry. I'm getting all that up here. Like, Gunther. Like, he's one for me. That's like, what the fuck's he doing at WrestleMania? It's 6 weeks away. I think I said it on weekend.
Could have done Gunther Dragon Lee on the show rather than on Raw. It was a banger match. We're going to get into it, but yeah.
You Gunther Dragon Lee even at WrestleMania. I know, as I said the other night, it's diminishing Gunther in a way, but it's maybe pushing Dragon Lee up. But what the fuck are they going to do? What's Gunther going to do now? He's not the type to open to the answer Lesnar's challenge, is he? Because he's playing a bit of a chicken shit heel at the minute, with the retirement stuff. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with him. He could end up in a multi-man or, God forbid, not even on the card. But I don't know, Ben, at this point with him. But there's a lot of wrestlers like that, though, Ben, at the minute.
It's a problem with their own creation. Like I say, yeah, maybe you've nailed something there when they do change direction and not changing direction. And obviously the Logan Paul and the Seth Rollins universe is another stick I'm beating them with there. Maybe they are better, but again, they created this problem. It
could be LA Knight, Benno. You're right. Did you say it was Knight and Lesnar at Mania? I think that's what they're going to go with, because Heyman got took out and Knight drove the ambulance away, didn't he? So that's obviously...
it's going to turn out that it was him after all,
Or something
He's
like
proper
that.
cosplaying as 97 Steve, isn't he, with his little ambulance driving? But I think it's going to be like, it was him all along. It was him who took out the Usos. They're probably going there. But, I mean, speaking of Heyman, I think we should get into, the fallout of Raw, and then we've got some other round-the-world wrestling stuff to talk about. I won't go to the big segment, which is going to be... this is going to be another GRAPPL derby here, I feel like, with Punk and Roman. I just love that, the follow-up again to the Seth Rollins stuff was him battering Paul Heyman, which presumably takes Paul Heyman off telly, which I'm not the first person to point it out, but very clearly Paul Heyman sees the writing on the wall. It is like, fuck it, I don't even want to be around for this mess and whatever we're heading towards, and Austin Theory getting to cut promos and Logan Paul being left on his own to carry this program again. If you are changing course, I wonder if this is one that Paul Heyman even is thinking maybe they should have, because very clearly he wants to be anywhere but around at WrestleMania for whatever the payoff is here.
This is it, and that's what it is. I mean, I'm sure he'll be in Brock's corner regardless, won't he? Probably against Knight, like we say. If it was Brock Knight, hopefully he gets on the phone to Bron, and kayfabe in the show and gets him back for Seth, which I want to see. That's a big match. And then you have the other two against the Usos. That's probably the direction they're going, Ben, at the minute. I don't want to see Seth Logan Paul. I don't want to see Seth v Brock Lesnar again. I just don't like. I know Night Lesnar's not great, but at least it's never been seen before. At least it's that Seth and Bron Breakker, as I keep saying. I really do want to see that match. I want to see them get like 15-20 and actually have a good WrestleMania type match to get Bron more over, what we should be doing at this point. But yeah, it's questions unanswered, Ben. We've got to tune in for the next 6 weeks for this unpredictable, we'll say. Not a mess, Ben. It's unpredictable, your man Cody said. So we'll go with that word from now on, eh?
It's a cheap, lazy, unpredictable mess. Let's just agree to disagree. I mean, on that note, we do need, speaking of lazy, we need to talk about Punk and Roman, which is the other elephant in the room as far as the WrestleMania bill goes. And obviously, yeah, Roman was on Raw this week. Another head-to-head with Punk. Feels like it's... I thought they'd have another one before now. It does feel like... How long ago was it? The last one? At least 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, even 6 weeks ago at this point. But yeah, what did you make of round two with these two? I mean, I'll tell you right away. I feel like Roman gets another point for this one. I didn't think Punk was at the races during this. I think the closing line was just cheap. Again, cheap, lazy, and reminds me a little bit of a previous era of WWE with the dead dad stuff. I imagine there's going to be dead dog stuff coming from Roman Reigns on the other side, but I actually thought Roman was handling himself quite well until it got to that point. Some of it's a little bit lost and confused. I don't really understand why, having told us all it wasn't about the belt and the belt didn't matter and SmackDown was shit and Drew McIntyre's shit and the only reason I want to face you is because I fucking hate you, Punk. Now apparently the belt's the important thing. He doesn't care about Punk and Punk is a nobody, but I do think his lines about 30 and 40-year-old versions loving Punk and all of the stuff there about Punk and Punk coming back and trying to be like, I'm not a man who holds a grudge over podcast. Are you not CM Punk? Because I'm pretty sure we all know you are. I think it was not a great moment for Punk as well, and it did feel like Roman was getting the best of them, and maybe again by design. That last line and that that cheap going to with the death of his dad and Roman having to sell it was quite weak for me. Being quite cool in the promo all the way up to it, just put him in an awkward position where he had to sell it seriously, but also not just like as Samoa Joe I think has said in the past about these dual and mic promos, not just punch Punk in the face and done it, and he just had to stand there and sell it. And yeah, it was an unfortunate end to something that I did feel like Roman actually got the better of and carried, I'd say this time, but I think we were saying that last time as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I will disagree. I didn't mind the last line, Ben, and I know it's a bit, on the nose, of course, but I think that's the whole point of what Punk in kayfabe, once again, we're blurring lines here, it's shoot, but I think that last line, even though it was probably the most shoot comment, will make sense in the kayfabe of it. It's Roman is emotional, you know what I mean? He is a family first. He is all that tribal chief stuff, is all that. So I like the way he sold it because I don't think he thought Punk could go there. And I did like considering he's saying he's coming back and talking behind people's back and burying people. I actually thought that last line was great. I'm going to bury you next to you. I did. And I like the way he's selling it because he's going to get in Roman's head and you're going to get a scrap now at least. I might agree with Samoa Joe for once because he's that emotional Roman. He'd probably be like that first before he digged you. Do you know what I mean? But next time they come face to face, I think that'll lead to a scrap now and we'll have the pull apart. Once again, it's basic, but you're getting two big stars going back and forth, so you don't mind that in a way, being that basic. But we can't have another 6 weeks of this though, Ben. We can't have 4 more face-to-faces. We've got to have a scrap. We've got to have something different in, because he's on 4 more Raws. We can't just keep having this. We've got even a contract signing. I mean, how stale's that? Why hasn't it been signed already if you've announced it? You know what I mean? Like we say that about these, but we'll see, mate. But I think Roman was definitely more carried himself better here, definitely.
And not just us, like a criticism of like some of the material here, and again, I think actually, again, Roman had some of the better material, talking about how, Punk knocks around with the Usos, and then whenever he leaves, they're all in my ear going, oh, you won't believe what he's fucking moaning about now. That felt like fucking Eddie Kingston telling us all that everyone still hates CM Punk backstage, and happy, smiley Punk isn't the real Punk. Like, that actually made me a little bit excited that, oh, maybe it's happening again, Matty. Maybe all of this talk about how great WWE is and how much he loves it all is all fucking bullshit. And he's fuming backstage and angry and stuff. I actually like that more this time. because I think it fit the vibe of what they were going for. And the problem with Punk going to the dead dad stuff, it just felt out of character. It felt like everything else he was saying, like the burying him under the ground. I've been watching a lot of 1997 Shawn Michaels like this week, and it felt like the type of stuff he would say when he didn't want a job to Bret Hart or didn't want a job to Undertaker or whoever it was that given week. Like, that felt like a nice little work shoot line that Punk could have like a double entendre on. But then literally, like, and again, we've said it before, maybe leaning hard on that shoot stuff isn't ideal for like this Punk WWE run. Maybe you need to create some lore and do some kayfabe and tell some stories that way. But it just felt like a hard shift to go to that. Oh, by the way, your dad's dead. Like, it didn't feel like a CM Punk line. It felt like something that someone written down for him, and he just said because someone told him to.
But maybe that's where that's why I like it in a way, though, Ben. Again, maybe because it is, once again, it is work, but that kayfabe will go into it of like maybe Phil thought he was losing the battle and he had to go there. The character, do you know what I mean? The blaring, I liked it for that. He thought, I'm getting caned here in the thing. I'm going to have to go that low.
And he was.
Because I know, that's what I'm saying. So I think it's doing it both ways. It blared again. That's why I liked it, and we'll see where it goes now, because if it would have just ended with whatever, you know what I mean? And then you leave. But at least next time we know it's going to be on edge more. It's going to explode more. We're going to get a bit of physicality next time off that line as well. So I was a fan of it. You know what I mean? I know it's not for everybody, stuff like that, but I enjoyed it. Knowing these two, obviously, Roman's going to be well up for stuff like that, and with the family and stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and just good to see the big man on telly, Benno, as always. So I'm happy with
as
that.
Punk said. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So you still, even though you said Roman's the better man, you still have to side with your man there, don't you?
Yeah, he was. I'm open for like the next battle. And like you said, what are we getting a contract sign? Are we getting, like we keep saying, we want, you know, like you do need to create some kayfabe in there. You do need to like have, I don't know, like I say, maybe that's the line. Punk now kills one of the Usos. Maybe it was Punk who was the one who took out the Usos on SmackDown. Maybe we'll find out to Jay. We'll find out that's actually what's happened there. But again, I think the fact that they've done that probably tells you we're not going in that direction. Yeah. But something like that, bit of physicality is probably what is needed next. And to be honest, yeah, I don't like siding with it on Roman Reigns winning these battles. I would like the old Phil to show up, but feels unlikely it's going to happen. Any other thoughts on Raw? It shouldn't be old so. I really did think the Gunther Dragon Lee match was a fucking bit of business.
Can't wait to watch it. But listen, the feud's been good. Like honestly, like the way playing off the retiring AJ and some of the angles they've done. It's been a little Gunther though, isn't it?
It was another like very not WWE match. It was like I think Gunther's got, because Gunther's always had that trust, hasn't he? From especially Triple H. Like again, he was somebody, as he'll say himself, that probably shouldn't have been signed by WWE, and like him and fucking, you know, him going on with the who did he? Oh, Ilya on NXT in the empty arena match, like doing like that style of match, and obviously, you know, being able to do the match he did with AJ for his retirement, again, felt like the old Walter. This felt similar as well, like there was a degree of physicality there that you don't see in WWE matches, like even the mask grip and stuff, and the literally fully pulling, as Sean Ross Sapp's screen grab for everybody, pulling off the mask of Dragon Lee stuff. Like it felt real, it felt heated, it felt like Dragon Lee felt like genuinely like angry. Dragon Lee didn't wrestle it like a generic WWE flyer wrestler. He
the old Dragon Lee come out,
he really did. He wrestled it like you would see Dragon Lee absolutely outside of the WWE system. I would implore you to watch it. Like it is.
I'm going to watch it when I've got time.
Don't enjoy WWE wrestling. Gunther's always operated on Ireland, but it feels like he's got that little bit of extra power now where he can really just do what he wants. And this, again, just felt like pure Gunther match rather than, you know, what WWE might have asked about him even 18 months ago.
100%, but I'd say only time restrictions, you know, after work and such, and they're doing this has stopped me because, as I've seen, that's meant to be like
we had Collision to watch, so I understand.
Yeah, one of those. But it's Gunther though, and as you say, Ben, he's just on such a roll, like, and pretty much since he's been signed, Ben, he's been on this fucking roll. So that's why I'm thinking, like, I'm scratching my head, like, all right, we've done this now, probably be the payoff to this, unless Dragon Lee comes back with a match fee here. I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm just booking on the fly again here, but who steps up to Gunther, or what does he get like slid into for WrestleMania? It's going to be interesting because we want to see him in singles at Mania, don't we, if anything? So we shall see, Ben. But apparently,
any of the other fallouts of Raw catch your eye? Just just up on WWE ring stuff.
I know it's not for you, but the Seth and the Vision stuff. Like apparently that was a electric start as well. You know, I can't wait to see that with the ambulance stuff, and Penta winning the IC as well, which thought he'd keep it on Dom, maybe going against Balor at Mania, but Penta is, he's another one, maybe not to the degree of LA Knight, but stayed over, Ben, since he's been signed, always featured. Good to see him with the IC belt, and hopefully they just do
It's the IC belt in it. I've seen people criticize like the flip-flopping of it, but like it's fine. It's Dom. He'll be fine. And obviously, it's payoff to the Danhausen thing. Like, again, Dominic Mysterio is the perfect person to work with Danhausen if you're going in that direction. Like, it all works, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'll say it, but hopefully it leads to like Balor and Dom at Mania. Do you know what I mean? Like, having that. So we paid that off. But yeah, it was a bit better than usual. At least stuff happened, Ben, and we're finally on the road to WrestleMania now. So hopefully they can continue up for the next 6 or 7 weeks. So we'll see what happens on the night when we or the week before I jet off to see what actually card they come up with for both nights. Be interesting.
Well, speaking of which, we got a couple of WrestleMania weekend-related news stories. First up, ESPN is going to be airing the first hour of WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. I saw John and Wade talking about this. What would your best foot forward be as far as showing the first hour of WrestleMania on TV? That's quite a big thing, isn't it? I'm surprised they're doing it for both nights as well. It's a little bit confusing. Night 1's on ESPN 2 and night 2 is on ESPN 1, I think. Obviously, it doesn't affect us out here, but yeah, quite interesting they're going that far.
Yeah, and as I say, when Steph got them emails last week to say like half 2, like it was starting, it was like all right, and then obviously this is confirmed that like it's 3:00, like it's going to be the first hour. So yeah, it's
of course, I didn't even catch that. Yeah, of course, which means 1 a.m. UK time, which means for me, what time? 7 in the morning. All right, I can live with that.
It's, as I say, it's earlier for me in Vegas, gives me a chance to do more in the night time, but it's wild. And actually being on, I still think that was a thing. Is it half going to be a pre-show? But if it's the first actual hour of WrestleMania, that is quite a big
that's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they might throw a pre-show thing. I don't know, but if it is, it's a very big deal. But we'll see once they start announcing these matches. Then we can get a clearer picture then regarding this as well.
Well, we've had it confirmed when the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be. It's going to be following SmackDown on the Friday, and we did have a bit of news of obviously Bill Eadie and Barry Dorso, axe and smash of Demolition, no Crush, unfortunately, being pulled into the WWE Hall of Fame as, of course, everyone's favorite, our mate Mark Calloway was back out with his big red book, doing his "This Is Your Life" routine. I had to throw that image on, so I was great. Credit to Simon for that one, but fuck me, like, this one was even better because he was like on StreamYard himself, like calling them on, like, and again, I hate that. Like, it's usually Triple H's job, isn't it? When it's like, oh, by the way, lads, I've just called you randomly, but do you fancy going in the Hall of Fame? Like, I feel like even Levesque couldn't sell that one, but Undertaker trying was still hilarious to me, and his delivery of this stuff as like, who knows who he might surprise next with his big red book was great to see, because he will do anything for a bit of cash at this point. We'll all Mark.
Listen, but long overdue. Demolition should have been in years ago. I know they've had lawsuits and such, haven't they, against WWE, which might have stopped them over the years. But yeah, I mean, they should be in there. One of the best tag teams. I know they're in the 80s, Ben, but they were a good tag team. Demolition, they were very good. But no, they were very good, Benno. They were very.
The WWE Hall of Famers, if they, obviously that's the. Of course they are.
And some of the best Hasbro figures known to man, and they've got actual new figures coming out on the Elite side with the Mattel stuff. So, yeah, well earned. And listen, I know Takers, but I've always thought
the fucking image cracks.
No, it's great. It is brilliant. Amazing. And I'm the high man on Taker. He's one of my favourites of all time.
He's the music, doesn't it? That's
but I like the fact it's a legend. Doing this, like I said on Weekend Show, you should have a genuine legend doing this type of stuff, but it's the Undertaker. It's mad him doing it. It's crazy. So yeah, Triple A booker though, Benno. It doesn't get mentioned enough. He's the head booker of Triple A's The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Amazing.
It's fucked up, but yeah.
I'm sure in the 90s he wasn't rating the Triple A lads when they had obviously the working relationship with them, and I don't imagine it's changed now, but he'll do anything for a little bit of cash, he will. But I agree with you though. I did like Axe and Smash as a kid. Again, great Hasbros as you say there. And again, it was another one talking about Survivor Series '92. I was like, did you know the third member of them? Did you know it's Crush? And then obviously when they split up, everyone knew it was still the same Crush. But did you know that's Repo Man? Did you know Repo Man used to be Smash? Did you believe that Demolition explodes? Like all of that. That was my first finding out that actually some of these gimmicks were not on the level.
But and as Simon says in the group, they're one of the all-time entrance themes as well. Demolition, Pain and Destruction. So
comes the
classic.
I think we had that on our music.
Yeah, Gareth put it in the lyrics round, didn't he, as well, for our quiz just this past weekend. But yeah, fair play, long overdue and well deserved.
Well, as we wrap up the WWE stuff and move into other stuff, I mean, we're going to be talking some wrestling television in a minute, mate. So I think it's only fair, you know, when we're on weekend show, we preview these shows endlessly, and then we never talk the results, we never talk what comes out of it. So just to close out, mate, obviously before we just to set the stage before we talk some AEW television, SmackDown results for you folks. Uncle Howdy actually beat Solo Sikoa in the end, mate. As well as Tiffany Stratton beating Kairi Sane, but Femi beating The Miz, Carmelo Hayes beating Matt Cardona, Jordan Grace beating Candice LeRae, the Irresistible Forces beating Rio, and we had Logan Paul beat Jacob Fatu as well, mate. But yeah, any quick thoughts on SmackDown before we, unrelated, get to some other wrestling television? I was Uncle Hardy versus Solo Sikoa. Is it a 20-minute use of television this weekend? Never mind, The Miz and Matt Cardona getting on television in 2026.
I can't defend The Miz, Ben, and I thought, Will, so you throw me that one.
Can you defend Uncle Howdy?
I can't get in the win, mate, but that's what you do when you get your people who are over, you get your all-timers who are over in Solo, and you get that heat translated onto...
You're going to be a Danhausen fan by fucking...
It's Wrestling 101, mate. You use your people who are over and get other people over. It's what you've done for hundreds of years in this business, Ben, so that's what we do in there, but I didn't like to see him taking the L there, but... they kept the lantern, Ben. That's all that matters, mate. Lanterns over matches. That's what we have at this point. So they've kept the lantern, so this story may continue, mate. You might get a multi-man at WrestleMania. So we're all good.
Well, unrelated, mate.
On a pole, we should have. That's what we should have at Mania. The lantern on a pole match.
I think you should have good matches, mate. But obviously, yeah, great use of 3 hours of television time was all of that stuff. Speaking of which, we've got AEW Dynamite coming up this week. Announced, mate. I saw you on the Discord having thoughts about this. We have Jon Moxley versus Hetcher Zero. Heading up the. What are you laughing at? What's the problem with that leading off a Dynamite this week, mate? Off another fun collision this week.
I mean, listen. You can't, can you? As someone said in the group, someone said it was two of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, listen, that's where I love this business. I love this business we are all in love with, because if they're the two best wrestlers in the world...
Not the two best, but there's definitely an argument for Moxley, and I think, yeah, Hetcher Zero's had some bangers. I think you were in person to see
Moxley's a shit wrestler. Like, he's awful as a wrestler. It would be him breaking down the moves.
He isn't.
No, he's terrible. I've always said he's
not always for me taste-wise, but you can't say he's awful.
No, I like his promos. I love his promos, but he's the wrestler to me. And I've said this more than once here. And I think Becky Lynch was paying tribute to him on Elimination Chamber. I've never seen a wrestler make it so obvious to position himself for the next move. It's amateur. Do you know what I mean? And listen, he's a different style to these wrestlers, so I get it. But he's doing
you're just putting over Solo Sikoa and Uncle Hardy, right?
I'm not saying they're the greatest. I've never said they're the greatest wrestlers in the world, but I'm getting told Jon Moxley is, so that's why I'm explaining to you, Ben. Keep up, mate. Keep up. He's the worst for that. It takes me out of a match, that. And I watch wrestling. We've all watched wrestling between us for thousands of years. We had our fandom up. We get to thousands of years in the Discord and the Patreon.
I was on with Brian last.
But it's right though. But when it's so noticeable, I've got to pull it out, and that's why I can never get into Moxley. I know it might sound weird to people, it might sound strange, but it's so noticeable to me how he's the worst the other day. Like when he on that El Clon match, when he literally, and I know people do it off camera, where like if you take the move and you land in the wrong spot and then you budge over, we get that. That's wrestling. He literally basically must have just stood up and lied down again. Like he's so bad at it, it's beyond belief. But
great. I mean, even if it was to concede that to you, it's definitely not a thing I've noticed with him. He's great at so many other things, is he not?
He's not for me. I think he's the most overrated wrestler in the world. I think he's so overrated, genuinely.
Again, we just read that SmackDown lineup, but go on.
The overrated. No one likes Solo Sikoa and Uncle Hardy, but you got to listen to what I'm saying.
He's overrated by you, though.
Sometimes. No, he's over. I just think he's overrated. You said he's overrated, Moxley. You don't love him, do you? He's overrated. Yeah.
I think you can be great, and also people can like someone. Yeah, I mean, I've said that, haven't I, in the past about certain sacred cows? You can be overrated even if you're great. I'll give you that.
Just not for me. I like his promos. I just think he's and once again, this is not obviously part of the TV show that I'm watching, but he's the best master politician going. He's taking the piss out of these wrestlers like he is. Swallowed everyone up when he's a heel. He's swallowing everyone up when he's a face. Oh, but he hasn't beat Takeshi yet.
Depends where it's going.
He won the C2 though, didn't he? He did win the C2. You know what I mean? He lost to Hangman Page. This feud with Darby Allin. He won the C2. What's Darby Allin doing asking about? He's a master. And I love him for it. I love him for that side of it. And he's just pulling the wool over people's eyes. Absolute master.
I think the thing with the Moxley run at the minute is like, I don't want to see like this, weird kind of gray area Death Riders and this weird dragging out of the story as well. Like, I don't understand why we haven't got anywhere with that. It's the same with, obviously, we're building to a Takeshita match, which feels quite lukewarm as far as like a feud goes. Oh yeah, the uninspiring 20-minute draw. We're doing a rematch, and guess what? There's no time limit now. That doesn't inspire me either. The both people who are in heel stables but are lean and babyface. That actually does feel lazy to me as far as the program goes. But I will say, to borrow a phrase from you earlier, if you are gonna do it, is this not logical progression of how to do it? Having them work the different stablemates as your openers to your dynamites as we build us to the Takeshita match.
But that's what I'm saying. But some people are saying
there's worse ways to fill TV than good matches, no?
Yeah, but it's uninspiring though, like you're saying. It doesn't make you excited to see anything that you're watching. You're just seeing. If you just want to see a good wrestling match, fair enough. But you can't be excited by it. But some people are, obviously, aren't they? I'm what am I doing? Shouting.
I think the majority of the AW fan base, and I've had disconnects there where I've said that, haven't I? When it's come to like some of the throwaway multi-person matches that go on Dynamite or 6-man tags that just fucking moves are happening in front of you, and it's like I always feel like God bless you if you're having a great time watching this, because I don't connect to it in any way. We all have our little things.
Of course, and listen, that's what I'm saying. Everyone sees it for it because people think this is like, as you say, it is logical. If you're literally doing ABC, this is what you do. While these, for some reason, aren't even on telly though. Is it contractual with Takeshi? He's open. He's like a freelance, isn't he, wrestler? Akada. Like, I've seen people.
Even the Akada, yeah, that's gone cold. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Why? Is that all contractual? Because that when I was not watching every week, I was even seeing how hot. Remember that big Don Callis family meeting was in the ring? Where how good was that segment? Where you wanted to see these wrestlers wrestle each other, and we thought we were getting at the end of the C2 or the end of whatever. We haven't had it, have we? Do you know? It's just weird. It's just dead weird.
It is.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I'm keeping like I'll defend the in-ring, like as far as Moxley goes. I'll defend the banger matches, as Simon saying there with the El Clon match last week. But I won't. Like, I'm keeping it on a short leash because like I'm hoping it's going somewhere. I'm hoping we're getting a payoff to why he's a babyface in a heel stable. I'm hoping they're lulling us into a false sense of security. But like,
I think they are.
The more the weeks, you'd hope so. The problem is, isn't it? It's wrestling. This could go on for another 6 months, and then we eventually get there, and it's like, you knobheads, you were saying this was shit, and actually they always had this planned all along. There's always a danger of that, isn't there? So,
where you're at on
I don't know if I trust it though. Like it might be as plain as what you say, though. It might be as plain as just, Moxley likes having, we've seen this from him before, haven't we? He's a rando champion. At least this one isn't a defense this week on Dynamite, but he's a rando champion having rando defenses, and that's enough for him. And he's winning his matches, and he's getting his 20 minutes on Dynamite. I hope there's more at the end of the rainbow on this, and that's the thing. I'm losing maybe that touch of patience on that as well. But yeah, John Saver saying there, obviously it could be a card. There's limited dates, meaning obviously Wembley and other things that are the reason they're holding back on that. But it is strange. It is.
It is, but as you say,
the story has been it's progression. It's good progression if you're gonna tell a story. But to borrow a phrase from you, it's talking to WWE, it still is dull.
I love Simon, and like we have a little bit of back and forth now. Simon, while we're just going on with this chat, mate, can you explain why they're actually feuding, mate, and then we'll get back to this. If you can answer why they're feuding, if you can answer why Callis family and Death Riders are feuding and what it's for and what the whole thing is, then if you can't explain that, no one else.
What's a good answer to why other than I'm not enjoying it. But the two stables who have bumped up against each other, and
is that what it is? I don't know why. That's what I'm saying. Are they wrestling for control?
They both want to be the dominant stable.
Is that what it is?
Moxley wants to beat Takeshita.
Oh, okay.
Takeshita wants Moxley's belt. Like there's all.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question because I don't know.
What would the good answer be?
I'm not saying if I want to go or bad. I just want to know why. That's why I'm asking the questions. That's what questions
needs
are.
more hooded men, doesn't
it? There's no alternative.
Yeah, but if you're asking a question,
you know what I mean?
There must have been an answer that would satisfy you.
No, it's not. It's like saying if I don't know the name of this If I don't know the name of the thing in the sky and someone says the moon, there's no ulterior motive. I just didn't know what it was called, mate. Fucking hell.
That's right. Why are the Wyatts feuding with Solo and crew? Can you answer that?
Because they robbed the lantern. That's why it mightn't be the greatest thing in the world, but that's why they're feuding, though. No, but that's why. I'm not saying it's what we need, but that's why they're feuding.
Lamps.
He took his dead brother's personal memento and robbed it because Solo is a family guy. Enough. He's robbing a thing off his dead brother that he knows all about family. Do you know what I mean? See what I'm saying, guys? I'm not as
fucking rubbish, innit? Jesus
I'm
Christ.
not saying it's the best thing in the world, but I'm telling you why. You asked why the feuding.
I'm telling you, it's the worst thing in the world. But anyway, also on Dynamite, we have Inspiration making their debut. Damn it, that doesn't help my case, does it? MJF vs Kevin Knight, which was set up nicely on Collision. Nice little low card working for.
Can I give Hamlet a shout out, Benno? Sorry. Give Hamlet said Kevin Knight and MJF will happen in 10 weeks. He was 9 weeks late. I've got to give him that one.
But again, I like that on Dynamite. Again, we criticize like the overly long matches. You know, a nice little win for Kevin Knight to set up this up. I think that works. Wrestling for lamps.
Sorry, Simon can't answer me because he said I'll take no story over lamps. Fair enough, Simon. We disagree, mate. We disagree.
Yeah. There's definitely a story. It's whether we're all into it or not. But yeah, that's true on both sides. Tekla versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW World Championship, and obviously John Moxley versus Hetch's Hero there as well. Outside that, the only other really things going on in AEW is obviously we're in a good run for AEW Dynamite ratings. We're in a good run for everybody's ratings at this point. 18 to 49 was a little bit down this week based on recent vintage. There have been people running with Collision doing it a 0 in the 1849 this week, and I'm sure you'll blame some of the people that were in the ring on Collision this week, but there was I believe it did a little bit better than Andrade. Tomohiro Ishii was probably the best thing on Collision this weekend. But yeah, outside of that, moving out of the AEW verse, we had an announcement for Wrestle Queendom, obviously coming up, and I know a few people in our audience were going. Alex Windsor is challenging Shuri for a match on that one, mate. Obviously, Pro Wrestler here. Eve isn't something we often cover, but I imagine there'll be a lot of people from our audience headed out to that one coming up as well. So definitely worth mentioning there. Obviously, New Japan had shows this weekend. The New Japan in the USA New Beginning shows. Did you manage to see any of that, Matty?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. We'll be being out Saturday all day and hung over Sunday and recording. But I've heard positive feedback on the because it did look a tasty little card that we previewed on the weekend show, and the matches we thought to be tasty have had some good feedback. So Andrade, Benno, the man's back. Like, it's what I mean about wrestlers, though. Not genuinely, like, and I'm not saying like, I hope he stuck by him, but this way you can't write wrestlers up. People were down on Andrade and look at him now and getting used and stuff. It's just one of them. It can happen, can't it? You go through peaks and valleys in wrestling. He's in a very, very hot streak at the minute, so long may it continue.
Yeah. He was a good choice for challenger of the month to go up against Yota Tsuji. Like, I'd recommend that. Like, outside of that, I enjoyed seeing Oscar and Yuta Weiss in an American setting. GOA are always going to be GOA, unfortunately. You get what you get out of that. I haven't seen the Surya Athena match, obviously, linked to the news there as well, but I believe that was strong on the show as well. Takeshi El Phantasmo was fine. It was a match that existed, but obviously noteworthy with Takeshi winning the belts as well. Shows you that he's obviously on for more. Obviously with New Japan this year, and again, that's the challenge when you're booking a Takeshi, that he's obviously got his foot in both sides.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And that's I was saying there, part of why he probably hasn't been on TV as much as we think we want him to be on AEW with this with them doing other promotions. But listen, he's always Takeshi is one of the wrestlers, Ben, that can't be denied for me. Just there is a great professional wrestler right there.
That's it. Love to see him take it a few more steps forward as far as the AW booking goes. But yeah, in related quick news from New Japan, obviously Tomohiro Ishii, which I mentioned there, was on the show, is out of the New Japan Cup. Obviously, it was reported over the weekend with him being injured. Satoshi Kojima is going to be replacing him in the New Japan Cup. I didn't expect Ishii to be going far. It was looking like I think he had the bye to the second round. It looked like a second round loss. I guess we'll see with how they book Kojima in that as well, but there we go. He's that's what's going to happen when you're of an age that Ishii is at this point. But yeah, outside of that, not much other news to say, which does take us to our and finally story, which is it feels like the and finally story to end all and finally stories. Matthew, is Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger. He's been announced that he's signed with Power Slap and is going to be debuting at the Las Vegas show next month. I don't believe it's Mania weekend, the show, so I'm sad that you're not going to be able to get there. But
no, it is.
Yeah, was there
17th,
ever a wrestler? What was that? Sorry, mate.
It is on April 17th. There, scroll up.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Oh, there you go. You're going to be there then. You're going to be there to see your Power Slap first show. Oh yeah, of course, it's Mania weekend. There we go.
Yeah.
Sound sorted, mate. That's your April 17th sorted out.
Oh, not a chance, Ben. We're at that ICP show, aren't we? As soon as we land, basically. So I might be able to hear them slaps though from the airport. Apparently they're that loud, aren't they? So Jesus Christ, no. I mean, no, Ben. I mean, was I ever a fan of Jack Swagger ever? I'm trying to think now.
Were you ever a fan of Power Slap? Remember that weekend that we were all into it? The pandemic was a hard time. That's all I'm saying.
Wasn't it? We were searching for new / nostalgic things in the fucking pandemic. But no, I mean, that just, if anyone screams that though, if any wrestler was gonna go and be a part of that fucking promotion, it would be him, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? So yeah 100%. No interest in it whatsoever.
Well, there we go. That's the end of the news, mate. Not a huge amount going on this week. Obviously, I'll have a clean up with Andy Ogden on weekend show on Thursday. I think it's going to be at this point. Apologies to the Friday fans, but get it out on audio for the people on Friday morning. But outside of that, anything else you've been watching, mate? Anything else you wanted to comment on while we've got you there in the hot seat?
No, but genuinely, we'll still be sticking with Dynamite this week and can't wait for that first 20 minutes. Just hear Dynamite's music just comes to an end just as it plays into the Death Riders theme. We wanted this to continue. You might as well go the whole hog with it at this point and just have them open every week. So I will be there watching that match straight away. And I will give me feedback on the Discord this week. No, I love it. I'll genuinely love it though. Like this is what we're here for, lad. Let's just have it. And I will be putting me thoughts in that Discord on probably Friday, you know what I mean? So because Creamy's coming down, so I want to watch it before he comes down. So you
can practice on him.
Yeah.
Before you go on the wind up. Which is funny, by the way, because you will get grief for some of your comments today. I'll get more grief than you. I look forward to getting the more grief. As Simon says, they've got he enjoyed the show there. Always good to have a bit of debate. Always and it's all in good fun. But
always in love,
like I said,
always.
That's it. And obviously, coming up, obviously we got a little known AW pay-per-view coming up of Revolution, so we'll have Gareth on the next spotlight. I imagine I'll do a live in the middle, but look out for that as well. And then we'll have, like I say, in 2 weeks, I think we'll have you next on our weekend show. We'll check your notes, mate, and see if you've been doing your homework and still staying tuned to AEW. But yeah, outside of that, I'll let you do the big plugs. What else have we got coming up for the rest of the month for anybody who missed it?
Yeah, we've got, as I say, new month, Benno, back to business, back to basics here on GRAPPL this month. After a non-wrestling month, we're back in fully with the business, starting off with Razor, as you say, a one-name title show covering all things Razor Ramon in the entire WWF run. So all his IC title stuff, the 1, 2, 3 kid, we've got it all covered. The ladder matches with Shawn Michaels. We'll be talking everything A to Z about Razor Ramon. We've got the March mixtape coming up, Benno. It's March. We're doing a mixtape, so it's March mixtape. Is that sticking you?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough.
That's sticking. Yeah, we'll have probably 6.
I've never said otherwise.
Yes, 6 matches we're probably going to go with for that. Maybe 8 if we do a patrons poll as well. If you want to throw any good shouts in there, maybe do that. We've got Simon. Obviously, had a bit of a good debate with Simon tonight. King of the Mountain, Simon Mulvaney, his choice. Hopefully, he's nice as he usually is, Benno. So hopefully, he can add to that.
You set yourself up now.
I know. Maybe it's just going to be good wrestling.
That'll
be a good show, won't it? You know what I mean? So I'm all there for that. But looking forward to that this month. And then we are rounding the month off with a long overdue, I'd say, Ben, Ask GRAPPL, so we can get all the questions and have a hangout with everyone who wants to come join us. So, as I say, Ben, back to basics, back to business this month on GRAPPL.
There we go, and it'll be GRAPPLMania month before you know it, and obviously there'll be plenty more where that came from coming up as well. But like I say, Retro coming as well. Like
Retro,
stay tuned to your Benno and Hamford feuds outside of GRAPPL as well. But yeah, as always, thank you, patrons. Thank you to our live patrons for tuning in live with us tonight. You can join us live every week by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/GRAPPL or becoming a YouTube member if you're watching the video version of Spotlight. There's a button somewhere below us to join in for the low price of 99p. You can even jump in, get the Matty Edwards pre-shows, pay a little bit more, and you'll get the bonus shows, all the ones Matty mentioned, and even live spotlight and weekend shows as well. But yeah, as always, thank you all. Thank you to our patron kings and queens of the mountain. Thank you, Conor Laughlin, Eddie Sarburns, Chris Platt, Carl Gack, Sophia Hitchcock, Sam Mulvaney, and Marty Ellis. I will catch you again on Weekend Show with Andy Ogden, the quiz champion. See you then.
Ta-da.
6 weeks till WrestleMania. I gotta move on, Matty. Good night, all.